Rory 1. My name's Darren, 29, living in Cedar Falls, Iowa. I'm working the graveyard shift at Pine Bluff Gas and Go. I'm alone tonight. No bullshit. Just me, the fluorescent hum, and the smell of stale coffee. It started with the rules. I was trained on them my first night. Never let anyone in after midnight. Keep the lights on. Don't look out the back. I thought it sounded like cult indoctrination at first. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I remember the trainer glancing at the pumps like they weren't real people. So around 1:15 a.m., a car pulls into pump 3. Light drizzle, windshield wipers crawling. I'm watching from the counter. I hear a click at the door. She didn't rush it. Wouldn't. Because the rule was no entry after midnight. I locked it. Her tapping comes through. Sharp, deliberate, like she's counting the windows. I heard a weird hum in the lights. Not flicker chills or anything, but unease. I looked away too fast. She bangs again. Then the lights dim. Not out, but thinner. And her tapping slows. I felt my pulse skipping. I didn't answer the phone either when it rang seconds later. Rule 4. Don't answer calls after midnight. I grabbed coffee, hands shaking. I told myself it's just rain, just sleeplessness. But then the lights flickered near pump 3, the one she's at. Not a full flicker, more like a stutter, like the power's breathing. My phone vibrated. Caller ID, unknown. I know this sounds crazy, but I thought of shutting the lights off for a sec, just to reset them. But rule 2, keep them on. I sipped coffee, leaning, and stared at pump 3. The lady was there. She was soaked, maybe 20-something, coat dripping. She wasn't moving, except her head. It tilted like she heard me, but she couldn't see me. She was just there, still, silent. I felt adrenaline, heart jamming in my throat. Izzy, my training buddy, told me if I broke a rule, weird things could happen. She didn't say what. She just didn't say. The lights stuttered again. Stuttered, and everything slowed. My breath rattled in my lungs. Then, her face. No lips. No real eyes. Just gray hollows pressed behind wet skin. I jumped back, spilled coffee hot onto my hand. I screamed something I couldn't hear. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I remember thinking, this is real. The car doors clicked shut. Her foot tapped once, as if to mock the timing. She stayed exactly where she was. Like I was watching a nightmare unfold in real time. Then the lights snapped back full. No buzz, just normal. I blinked. She was gone. I ran to the pump window. Nothing. Just faded headlights disappearing down the road. I looked at the camera feed. Nothing. No trace of headlights. No trace of her. My basement rules had me lock every door, every back window. I pulled the phone back to call the owner. My thumb hovered over 911. The owner's number was next. Shaking like hell, I called him. He answered in his whispery tone and told me, "Don't call the police unless you break the rules." I asked why. He said, "If you do, we both lose this job." I froze, like what the F am I gonna say? There's a thirsty ghost at pump 3? I hung up and locked myself in the office. My phone buzzed, unknown number again. I didn't answer, but text came anyway. "You saw her." My spine cramped. I deleted it without opening it. Or maybe I opened it. I'm not sure. I looked up. Lights dimmed again. I felt breath on the back of my neck. Not goosebumps. Actual damp breath. I spun. Nobody. I whispered to the empty aisle, "Maybe she's real." My voice echoed. Time broke. I don't know how long I sat in the office. I filled thermos coffee, cup after cup, but couldn't drink. I stared at the cameras until 4:59 a.m. Then I looked at the door, hit the button unlock, stared at it, my finger quivering. Then the door swung open. Full lights. A guy walked in, hair soaked, face blank, coat dripping. He looked at me and smiled, low and slow, like he was pleased I'd held on. Like this was exactly what he wanted me to do. He said, "You kept the rules." Voice rusty, calm. I hate him. He walked out without a word. Door clicked shut again. I just waited until shift ended. 6 a.m. I didn't say a thing to anyone, but texted Izzy. Tonight was bad. Too real. She hasn't replied. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I swear I never broke a rule. Except Rule 5. Don't think about them. I'm thinking about them all day. My house is quiet. Too quiet. I left the phone under the counter. I couldn't call in sick, but I might. I keep thinking, what if next time I break the rules? If she comes back, maybe I'll answer. Maybe that's the mistake. Maybe I can't unmake mistakes after midnight. That's all I got. I still work there, just waiting. Story 2. My name's Lucas, 32. I live in Hickory Ridge, North Carolina. I work alone at the only 24/7 gas station for 20 miles, East Grove Stop and Shop. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I swear around 12:15 a.m., I heard something shift in aisle 2, like a heavy bag scraping the floor. No cars outside, no one at the door. I was in the back cleaning the slushy machine, my head foggy from too much caffeine and not enough sleep. I didn't look up, not right away, because Rule 1 at this place, don't spook yourself, keep it normal. So I popped the slushy lid, stared at the machine's neon glow, and muttered, "Just ice, Lucas, just ice." But then I noticed the hissing, soft, like air escaping. It's a slushy machine. They hiss, but this hiss didn't match. It was long, slow, like a sad sigh. I put down the scoop and walked toward aisle 2. Floors are sticky from spilled soda. I wiped my foot, bent down, looked along the aisle. Nothing. Saw a can of tonic pop fall. I jumped. I swear my heart thumped. I grabbed it in case I had to toss it and took it to the register. At 12:17 a.m., a text dinged from my mom. "You working late? Call me." I typed back, "Yeah," and hit send before I thought. My hands shook. I remember thinking, did I really type that? I don't talk to her much. She never texts me after 10. This felt off. I walked out front, checked pumps. Rain had stopped, windows glossed over. One pump blinking unlit. I flipped the breaker off and back. Nothing. I tapped the side. "Come on, pump 3, work for me." It hummed back on, but I felt eyes on me. Not headlights, just pressure. Back inside, at 12:22 a.m., I grabbed a coffee and went to fix the broken price scanner in aisle 2. It'll buzz, I thought. Maybe that explains the noise. But looking up, I almost dropped the scanner. A tall shape at the end of the aisle, just past the chips, was standing still. Just standing. Dark clothes, hood up, no face seen. I froze my tea hand. I know not to watch it, but I did. Thing didn't move. Didn't move when I blinked. Didn't breathe. Just watched. I backed off, hit the lights on the aisle. Nothing. I stepped in, sweaty cold on my neck. I called out, "Hey, you okay?" No answer. I went around the aisle. End cap empty. I wiped my forehead. Too much caffeine, I told myself again. But I felt like I heard a breath, low and dry, just behind the chips. I turned. Still nothing. At the register, I dumped the office phone onto the glass and lashed a coffee piton, trying to steady. I texted my mom, "Pump 2 quiet." She replied with emojis. Ugh, I hit ignore. Then at 12:47 a.m., the door chime rang. One single chime. My throat closed. Not like a customer. Too sharp. I looked up the camera. A lady at the door, soaked head to toe. Head down, hair over face. I didn't let her in. Rule 2, no entry after midnight, unless it's an emergency. I locked it. She stayed, just listening. Then door chime again. She wasn't wearing anything I recognized. No purse, no phone, just wet jeans and a jacket. I shouted, "Need help?" Nothing. She lifted her head. Water pooled at her eyes, hair plastered. But her face was pale white. Almost too white. No features, just blotchy skin. I backed to the camera, zoomed in. Her forehead parted with a slick strand of hair. I recognized her. It was me. My face, sloppy, eyes dark, mouth half open, like I do when I sleep. I felt bile rise. I smashed the camera monitor. Static hissed. I screamed inside. "No, no, no!" like a kid. My phone buzzed with the last text. "You shouldn't see me." No number. Then lights flickered. Just one strip near the door. Took a long time to flick all the way back. Heard high-pitched whine, like a TV with no signal. I wanted to vomit. I turned off lights in the back room to kill the whine. When lights cut, hiss stopped. I groped around in the dark till my phone light hit the door. Empty again. I know this sounds crazy, but I swear I caught my face in the wet glass. I didn't want to touch it. I don't know when I became this type of person. Panicked, fragile. I called dispatch. Said someone's messing with the cameras. They said patch the local branch. That number didn't go through. Just a click, then dial tone. I cried out aloud, felt stupid. Around 1:05 a.m., Assistant Manager Doug calls food order over the radio. "You okay?" he asks. My voice wobbles. "Yeah, just machine broke. Send pizza?" He laughs. I say, "Pray for me." He says, "Will do." It felt good. But then the doors beep. Someone left. Too many chimes. Scared me real bad. Then blood. I don't know how it got there. On the door handle. Thick, dark, like from a wound. I gag. At the very edge of the store window, smudged. No one inside. I grab gloves, dig into the emergency box, break mask open. I feel like I'm losing it. The smell didn't seem fresh. It looked old. But what had been bleeding? At 1:22 a.m., my phone rang. Owner's number. I froze with the mask half on. Thought of hanging up, but answered. He went silent. Then he said, "You seen her?" I said, "What?" He said, "The girl. She's been here before." "You didn't open?" He whispered into the phone. "She's in the store now." I dropped the phone. It cut off. I heard the ice machine in the back fizz. I wanted to puke. I crouched behind the counter, mask off, shaking. I waited for sirens, for anything. Nothing. Then the door chime rang again. Loud. Josephine. Like I'd given it a voice. I crawled to the camera again. There she is, but changed. Now face grinned, mouth wide, blood dripping down chin. But camera feed flickered to black. No static, just black. I shut everything down. Locked door. I called 911. Said, "Weird woman tried door. There's blood." They asked me to wait. I heard sirens maybe. I flicked camera power on. It came back normal. Clean. No blood. No prints. Nothing. They told me, "We'll be there soon." I stared at the clock. 1:45 a.m. 1 hour more till morning shift. I kept scanning aisles. No one. But I kept seeing something. A reflection in a window aisle 3. A pale face grinning behind me. But turned, no one. I felt followed. I didn't sleep my entire shift. When my relief came at 5:30 a.m., I didn't say anything to him. Just handed off. My boss called half an hour later, asked why cameras were off and why 911. I texted, "Weird lady, blood." Didn't mention face or grinning. He told me to file incident report. He sounded relieved, respectful, but I heard him say, "Just a local drunk." I went home, showered, still smell stale coffee. My reflection looks normal. But sometimes, when I blink, I swear I see edges of wet hair flung over my face. I know this sounds crazy. I didn't sleep. I can't shake it. I still go back. I might quit. But rent. But I keep thinking, who is that? Why blood? Why me? Why did he say she's in the store now? And what happens if I break rule 2? Never open after midnight? I can't stop wondering. That's it. No solution, no happy ending. Just me, waiting for shift tomorrow. Alone. And maybe not alone. Story 3. My name's Marcus, 27, from Ashland, Kentucky. I'm working the night shift alone at Ravenwood Forest Trail Station, the convenience kiosk by the main trailhead. I know this sounds crazy, but I got hired 2 days ago, and they handed me a list of rules taped to the counter. No explanation, just rules numbered 1 to 10, typed and laminated. I thought it was tongue-in-cheek, some corporate joke, until tonight. Rule 1. Do not leave the kiosk after 2 a.m. Rule 2. Keep all doors locked, even to the outdoors. Rule 3. Do not feed wildlife. Rule 4. Do not answer phone calls. Rule 5. Never walk into the forest after midnight. Rule 6. If you hear whistling, stay indoors. Rule 7. Do not move the back shutter. Rule 8. Do not open the supply closet. Rule 9. Trust nothing you see outside the front window. Rule 10. Do not fall asleep. I thought, good grief, this reeks of superstition. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I swear those rules blinked at me, like a ready-made horror script. So here I am, at 1:50 a.m. I hear a twig snap outside. I look up, wind still, no cars, nothing moving. I thought, twig snap? Must be a deer, a raccoon. But rule 6, if you hear whistling, stay indoors. I didn't hear whistling yet, but my heart started doing this jittery thing. At 2:01 a.m., rule 1 kicks in. I'm locked in. Doors deadbolted. I feel boxed in. Beyond the window, the forest stands silent. Too silent. 2:15 a.m. Phone rings. The nasty kind of ring that makes your skin crawl. Rule 4. Do not answer. I don't. The ringing goes on and off. I grab a coffee cup. I'm jittery. I text my brother. Work is weird, these rules. I delete the text before I send it. Can't break the rules. 2:23 a.m. I swear I heard whistling. It was low, soft. Someone standing in the trees, just whistling. I lift my head. Whistle stops. I stare out the window. Nothing visible. Just silhouettes of dark branches. I run through the rules in my head like a mantra. Don't fall asleep. Don't answer. Do not move shutter. I feel booze-tinged panic. The walls feel close, like they're closing in. At 3:05 a.m., the shutter, the metal flap over the side window, it rattles. A slow metallic drag, like someone scraping nails across rebar. My breath hitched. My mind frenzied. Breaking Rule 7? I swallow hard. I don't move. It stops. Then a drop of red. It splatters across the glass. On the shutter, my stomach churns. Dried blood? Old? Fresh? Do bruised animals bleed red? But Rule 3. Don't feed wildlife. Not relevant. But does wildlife bleed blood? I flinch, blinded by panic. Blood slides a bit, slowly. Gravity can't be right. It's thicker, like old molasses. My hands shake. I grab a rag, maybe clean it. Rule 9. Trust nothing outside the front window. So I stare at the stained shutter, willing it to be rust. But the color is too red. At 3:16 a.m., the phone rings again. I wait, frozen. Then it stops. Then a long whistle. High, keening. It felt like someone inside the forest, right outside the window. I drop the rag. My mouth runs dry. I whisper, "Nope." I consider calling 911, but the rules warned against breaking them. Owner's numbers scribbled at the bottom of the laminated page. Emergencies only. Don't blame me. I dial. Ring. He answers. I blurt, "There's blood on the shutter." He shuts me off. "Don't come out. Sit tight. Listen." Hangs up. No follow-up. Nothing. At 3:30 a.m., doors click. I spin. From outside the locked front, someone tests the knob, then leans on it. Heavy. My chest tightens. I dial 911 again. Voice trembling. Someone's outside my door. I need help. Operator. Click. Disconnected. Dead tone. My phone buzzes. Text. Rule 9. Trust nothing. From unknown. I drop the phone. My pulse burns. I'm shaking so bad, I nearly fall. At 3:45 a.m., footsteps around the kiosk. Soft, shuffling, scuffing. From the side window, I glimpse a silhouette. Tall, thin, no face I can see, just a pale shape. It tilts its head. The rasping whistle returns. I can't breathe. I fumble for the laminated rules. Rule 6, Rule 9, Rule 1, Rule 10. Do not fall asleep. The wild is waiting. My doorway quakes with the weight of someone leaning. Whistle louder now. My vision blurs. My brain jarred, disoriented. 4 a.m. Silence. No heartbeat. Nothing. I dare to listen. Nothing moves. I step back from window, slowly. I glance at shutter. It's clean. No blood. Wiped away? Or was that in my head? I knock on the window. Resistance there. It's locked. I sink onto the floor. Try to text, but phone dead now. I swear, the moment I hit send on a help me text, I heard a whisper behind me. You broke Rule 8. I spin. No supply closet behind me, but there's a closet door inside the kiosk that I've never opened. Rule 8. Do not open it. But I can't remember opening it. I touch the handle, cold. I step back, hands shaking. Time blurs. I'm blurry, rage, panic, sleep deprivation. I look at the clock, 4:59 a.m. 1 minute to go before daylight. Sunrise. Safety. At 5 a.m., the door chime rings. Relief and dread. Someone here. I get up with every muscle burning. I open the door. Owner stands, looks at me blank. No smile, no acknowledgement. He grips my shoulder. You kept all the rules. He nods slowly, steps in. Lights flood. Forest retreating to normal shadows. He glances at me with pity. Good. Then he walks outside, locks me in again, says, "See you tomorrow. Don't be late." I'm home now, my eyes red, hands shaking. I see shadows flick behind me. I can't sleep because the whisper stays in my head. You broke Rule 8. I don't know what that means. I'm so tired I keep catching myself nodding off, and I jolt awake terrified. No blood tonight, no whistle, but the memory of rules, and that closet, and the blood that wasn't there. I don't know what I broke. If something's inside that door, I don't know what comes next. And tomorrow, I go back, because rent, and they paid me to follow the rules. And that's all.